Hello, this is a project for MSHA 540, breaking the cycle, unlocking climate finance for fragile states. I decided to go with Kenya. My daughter's in Kenya right now, and I understand they have a lot of problems with climate issues and regular, normal, seasonal issues, including droughts and stuff like that. So in this show and tell, anticipatory and individualized resistance, AIR, in Kenya we'll call it. So first of all, following the description of the innovative approach, the approach which I call anticipatory individualized resilience, AIR, synthesizes two concepts from the sources: anticipatory cash transfers and bottom-up self-reliance. Why it's innovative. Traditional humanitarian aid in Kenya has often been supply-driven, providing implementation that matches what is available rather than what individuals actually need. In other words, providing certificates instead of job opportunities. AIR shifts this by using satellite-based early warning systems to trigger cash transfers before a climate disaster like the 2020 floods or frequent droughts. It then moves beyond one-off consumption support by adopting an individualized approach that recognizes a person's pre-existing capabilities, treating a refugee not just as a person of concern, but as a teacher, farmer, or entrepreneur. 2, impact on communities. There are 3 scenarios. Drawing from the vulnerability tiers identified in the sources, we can examine the sources of our readings this week. We can see that we can examine the impact of this approach across 3 Kenyan scenarios. Scenario A, the isolated char-like land in remote northern pastoralist regions where market isolation is high. The impact of AIR is seen in reduced costly borrowing and asset loss. By receiving cash 7 days before drought peak, families can evacuate livestock, a critical productive asset, preventing the death of the household's livelihood. It seems pretty reasonable. I have it tagged that way into individual needs. The scenario B, the exposed, unprotected mainland in riverine areas prone to flash flooding. The program enables preemptive actions such as reinforcing structures or stocking clean water. Impact evaluations show these communities are 36% less likely to skip meals during the peak of the crisis. Scenario C, the institutional hub, protected settlement areas in places like Kakuma refugee camp. AIR allows individuals to transition from volunteerism to paid opportunities by focusing on specific needs, such as providing one farmer with a deep water well and another with quality seeds rather than generic group support. 3, there's potential drawbacks and challenges, as with every other attempt to be meaningfully humanitarian. There's risk aversion. Large climate funders often have a low risk appetite for fragile Kenyan regions, fearing the dynamic nature of conflict will lead to project failure. Fiduciary rigidity. Complex accreditation standards often prevent local Kenyan NGOs from accessing funds directly, leaving them dependent on slower, top-down international mechanisms. Data gaps in fragile zones. Damaged meteorological stations make it difficult to provide meteorological data required by major funds to justify an intervention. 4, the scalability for the future. Crisis modifiers. To scale, Kenya can systematically adopt crisis modifiers, ring-fenced funds within development programs that can be flexibly deployed the moment a trigger is hit. One team, one plan. Adopting the one team, one budget approach used in vaccine delivery can harmonize funding from different donors, simplifying the landscape for local Kenyan authorities to manage. Satellite integration, scaling eyes from above, remote sensing allows the program to monitor expansions in settlements like Dadaab in real time, ensuring aid reaches new arrivals immediately. So